Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Nick, aka X-Raptor, and PPE Pred from PPE Productions. And today, we are going to be doing a basic modeling tutorial. And I promised that 10 likes, you guys would get a tutorial on how to make this. And long story short, it got 10 likes, and forgot to disable the display case on the renderer. So today, we're going to be focusing on just making this really cool-looking mace. If you guys want to see the display case, let's go for another 10 thumbs up and a comment saying you want it, because I don't know if you guys, if you guys want to know how to make a display case. And the reason I'm doing the mace for the simple modeling tutorial is I had previously done, a different one, and then I realized that it was kind of useless. And anyways, let's power into this. Make a new little composition. I'm used to After Effects tutorials, really, and so I always like to start off by setting it to output HD TV 1080, and we can mess with the effects and stuff later, because when you're modeling, that is like the biggest pain in the ass, is to have to wait for this like long render time. Let's also talk about how to get these shortcuts up here. These are like the tools that I use a lot. So you go to Window, Layout, Command Manager, you hit New Palette if you guys want to. If you guys don't already have one of those, what I'm trying to allude to, and you just start typing things, like Extrude. There's the Extrude. You got the Extrude Inner. What else is useful? Split. We could put a split up here. You would want to put it into here. I can show you an example. Something really awkward and cool. Let's just do like platonic. Just drag platonic in here, and then you can drag this into wherever you want. You can right click here and go to show icon size, and make it smaller, and drag it here if you wanted it here. But I actually don't want this. Let me undock that and just get rid of it. All right, and once you have your layout set up the way you want, go to Window, Layout, save the startup layouts like that. Bam! This is now going to be your startup layout. You can change a lot as far as how this looks. So yeah, just a quick little tip, so you don't have to constantly be searching through right-click menus and drop-down menus, when you're actually working. All right, so let me go ahead and go to Google, because Google is your best friend. Go to Google Images. Let's type in morning star. Why was morning wood one of the? What the hell? Okay, remind me to blur that. I don't know what the fuck that has. Let's just type Mace. Let's pretend that never happened, guys. And I don't even know if that'll make it into the final video, but this is the one that I used for reference. So let's go ahead and just open this up. All right. So we're gonna start off with a handle. You could drop down a cylinder, but the problem that I find with the cylinder is when you go to resize it, sometimes it's wonky and it resizes both sides, and then you have to move all your work, which is not the the most fun. So we're gonna go here to Spline Objects and Control Copy, or Control Drag down to duplicate, and make another circle. Gonna bring the radius down, because we don't need a radius of 20. Actually, hang on, let me plug in something. Okay, back. Sorry about that. My laptop was letting me know that it needed to be plugged into charge. Anyway, so we're gonna bring down the radius a lot, and I find 70 works about good, and this one also. Of course, I would accidentally type in the 70 meters instead of 70 centimeters. All right. So now we're going to drag these both into a loft NURBS, which can be found here. You go to the NURBS, and it's the loft NURBS, which basically will connect 2 points, or 2 spline objects to each other, and now we can move them in different directions, but you can move them independently, so you don't end up messing up part of your work. Let me just go ahead and reset that PSR. Oh, right. I guess I should tell you what I'm using. In mine, we got the Extrude, the Extrude Inner, the Motex, the Split, the Loop Selection, the Reset PSR, the Cloner Object, and the Random Effector. I just find that I use those the most. So we're going to middle click, or click this little window here, which will take us to the split view. We're going to the top view here. And we're going to go to the top view, and we're going to start dragging this down. You don't need it to be crazy, but it's better to have it, longer at first. So we're going to go down right here like a 1001.637 centimeters. Zoom this out. Can I rotate this? All right. So we have basically, the handle now for the mace. So we're just going to go ahead and name this, handle. And now we can focus on getting the spike and the end. And I think I'm going to end up just making this a little bit longer. Just bring it down. Like right here. 'Cause we don't want like this small wimpy thing. We want like it's a mace, Alright. So we're going to go ahead and make a sphere. And really, let's 200. 200 is, it's kind of okay, but, we're looking at proportions here, really. And oops, sorry. If you go to this, you can see that on this model, it's a little bit basically the same as the handle, but in a lot of these, it's it's kind of substantially bigger than the handle. So we can do that. Scale this up. 360. All right. Yeah, seeing it like this, this handle even needs to be a little bit longer. There we go. There we go. And let's move the sphere up just a hair. All right. So now what we're gonna do is control copy the sphere. All right, and bring the radius down to like 340 because we want that to be inside the sphere because we're gonna put a cloner object on here, and we're going to start adding the spikes. All right. So first thing I want to quickly touch upon is bring in a cloner object, which in R12 can be found by going to mode graph and cloner, and set the mode to object. And I'm going to turn off the outer sphere. Okay. When you select the inner sphere to be cloned, if I bring in another circle at a radius of 10, and we make that a child of the cloner, you can see that it's going to clone an object on every vertice of this object. Okay. And what this allows us to do is you can increase the segments to get more clone objects, decrease the segment to get less cloned objects, and if the objects are large enough, they're going to protrude out from the outer object. This is just because for a lot of these you don't really see the fully exposed spike, and this just makes it easier and allows us to hide any imperfections that you would see on this. So let's go ahead and get rid of that. And on mine I did not do this, but this is what I really wanted to use. So I'm going to bring in a cone. I'm going to move this up so we can see it. I just realized that we need to make sure this is put to +Z so it clones properly. Make sure you set the orientation to +Z because I kind of went on with the tutorial, and you're going to end up with something that looks ridiculous with this stylized cone. So make sure it's +Z before we start this. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and make this an editable object, and we're going to go to the polygon face selection tool to select some polygons. And obviously I don't want to shift click all the way around. That would be pretty tedious. So we're going to go ahead and click on the loop selection tool, which can also be found by going to selection, loop selection, and click on the middle one, and go ahead and click on extrude, which can also be found by right clicking and hitting extrude. We're going to go ahead and go down here to apply the real-time updates, and the offset is going to be like this for you. Just bring this down. It's like a -7. Looks about cool. Alright, so like a -7, and put this back to object mode, and now make this a child of the cloner object. Alright, now we got some cool looking stuff. Alright, but obviously as you can see, there is way too much. Way too much. Alright, so we're going to bring this down. Oh, wrong object. My bad. It's like 8. Just turn on the outer sphere. Render this out. You actually can't see the stylization. Kind of makes me sad, but okay. And for the center one, kind of play with the, the positioning. I really like this icosahedron, but I don't like the way that the stylized spikes come out. So I'm just gonna get rid of that and just apply normal cone, +Z, and drop it into the cloner object. All right. I also like how this the preview window is kind of awkward, but let's go ahead and increase the size of this. So let's see. If we go over here to our reference photo, you can see that there's a decent amount of spikes. We don't want there to be like crazy amounts. I think a little bit more than that. Yeah, do like 8. Oh, that's what I did stupidly. We want the outer one. Yeah, we want the outer one. Okay, my bad. Let's go back to like icosahedron. There we go. Maybe 9. Yeah, we can do about 9. 9 looks good. Alright, play with this a little bit. Alright. So now we have our spikes arranged on our spike ball. You can see we got a bottom radius of 126 and a height of 358. I mean, obviously, if you guys want to play with this, I really recommend you do, because it's your medieval weapon, So we're going to go ahead and call this stuff. Let's all parent all this up, and Alt-G to group this, and name it spike ball. I mean, that's what it is, right? Now we can focus on the handle. And you can see that it kind of has a little stylization there. So to get that same effect, we're going to grab a disk. Drag this down. Orientation plus or minus Z. It don't really matter. We don't really have to do much to the radius. It's really nice. Perfect size too. And if you guys want to check to make sure it's centered, you can go ahead and do that in this view. It's centered. All right. So go back to your editor view and going to hit C on your keyboard to make this an editable object. Go to the polygon face tool. Go to the loop selection tool, which can be found at selection, loop selection. Hold shift and click on all the polygon faces. Can be done on either side. Doesn't matter. It's a flat object. And hit extrude. Real time update. Doesn't matter which way you extrude it in this situation. Make sure you check on create caps. Otherwise, you're gonna have a gaping hole on the other side of your object. No bueno. And you want there to be a nice style to it. So like 15 is about nice. Just go back and put it in object mode and kind of drag this. Kind of, yeah. See, looking good. Looking very nice. All right. So now that that's done, we're gonna make a cylinder. This one plus Z. This one we're using a cylinder because we want to, we don't really plan on doing a lot of editing to this. We're gonna make the radius anything you want that's bigger than 70 because as we know that's the radius of the actual shaft. So we'll just make it like 80. I said shaft. Put in the comments. I already know it's gonna be pointed out to me like 80,000 times. And the height can be played with. It all depends how long you want your handle. I'm gonna go like 350. A little bit longer. Not 150. 450 is nice. Just make sure that's on the handle. 500. The 500 is the best length. It's definitely proportional because this is probably a one-handed mace, so you want to have ample room so you're not holding on to nothing. And control copy or control drag to get this and put one on the other side. Alright. Again, render this out right quick. Make sure there's not a gap right there. I don't think there is, but I'll move it in just another hair. Alright. So this is already starting to take shape. From here, we can do some texturing like I did on mine. I think I have a picture of it on my desktop somewhere. Yeah, right here. You can see that on mine I have some texturing here on the handle. In order to do that one's actually a pretty simple little method. We're going to grab a cylinder. You get a plus Z cylinder. Drag this down here. Grab an array, which can be found right here. Array. Parent that new cylinder to it. Got to zoom out now. We got to drag the array object down. Alright, edit the array. Now we're going to play with this. We want to make it so it's rotatable. So make it plus or minus Y, because they're both facing the same direction. Control, or just R on the array object. Hold shift to rotate in steps, and rotate this 90 degrees. Alright. Play with the height of this cylinder. Going to make it 400 for now, and start decreasing the radius of our cylinder. We don't want something crazy. The radius of 36 actually is pretty nice. Oh, you see we got to increase the height of our cylinder, so do that. Just a little over 500. You can also increase or decrease the radius depending on what you're looking for. I like this look. Like a radius like 47 looks nice. You also saw right here, like there's texturing going up and down. That's a really pixelated, but what can you do? So let's bring this down, and on the cylinder, going to add, I believe it's some height. It's like 15 of them. Going to grab a sphere and bring this down. I'm going to start off by decreasing the radius to like 20. It's a good starting point. Grab a cloner object, set it to object mode, bring in our handle as the object, and parent your sphere to it. Jesus, clearly 20 is still too big. Let's try 10. Let's try 5. 5 is about good, but we want more, right? We want more of these. So we're going to go to our handle and add more rotation segments. The rotation segments are the ones that go around, and the height segments are the ones that run this way. Like if we add more, we'll have more rows. Keep it at that. Keep that at 15. Sorry, I'm gonna grab a drink of water. All right, and the rotation segments. Let's really crank this because we want it to. We might as well just go to 100. Let's be honest. We render this out. That's the kind of beadwork type thing that you see right here. You can maybe even go a little bit higher than that. I don't know if if you'll want to, if your computer can handle this, but you know, right as that, it looks nice. And yeah, so let me increase the height segments.